always throws up surprises and challenges. It takes a real passion for technology. So what we're doing at the moment is gliding. There's no active recuperation right now. I've deactivated the recuperation, and the whole thing simply cannot be compared to a combustion engine. We're effectively rolling along. The motor isn't doing a thing, and we have essentially zero consumption. That's what makes electric vehicles unique. We can glide for a while and then recuperate using the pedals whenever we want to. For me, gliding is the most fun of all. Recuperation, energy recovery in other words, is essential when it comes to increasing a vehicle's range. The e-tron recuperates almost every time the car slows, and not only in cruising mode. The electric engines feed energy back into the battery almost every time the normal brake is operated. To present this revolutionary concept to the public, Audi invites international journalists to a location that occupies a special place in the company's mythology, the legendary Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak, over 14,000 feet high. The majestic scenery of the Rocky Mountains around Colorado Springs. Qualification for the elite class, the rally cars. Walter Röhr heads off on one of his biggest adventures. The spectators here have never seen anything like it. European driving style of the highest quality. Car number one is Walter Röhr's Audi. After 12.4 miles and 156 corners, the finish line at the top of Pikes Peak. An absolute record time, 10 minutes, 47.85 seconds. The champagne flows at 14,000 feet, a proud champion and another triumph for the car maker from Ingolstadt. The prize in 2018 is rather different. This time, the almost 12.5-mile route is being driven downhill, with a gradient of around 7% and an altitude difference of almost 5,000 feet, a true test for any brakes. This is where Audi intends to demonstrate the benefits of recuperation. As well as converting kinetic energy into electrical energy, recuperation protects the brakes. The electric engines slow the car. What this means is the electric cars of the future will cause very little in the way of brake wear and tear.
My name is Stan, and I'm a ranger here on Pikes Peak. And this is a spot about 8 miles down from the top. And what we're doing is we're checking people's brakes. We want to see how much they've been using the brakes. Have they been driving down in low gear and letting the transmission work, or have they been using the brakes? And the purpose is the next 4 miles down the road, that's the steepest section of the road. So if they have hot brakes here and they continue, they could have failures.
All right, you guys are 48 degrees.
And the ground is 45 degrees there.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So it's very impressive. Most cars don't get below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And for those that do, we have a reward for our drivers. We give them candy. Smarties for smart drivers.
We've just driven down from Pikes Peak in the new Audi e-tron. From an altitude of over 14,000 feet down to 11,500 feet, and we've not used a single bit of energy in the process. We've just taken the brake temperature, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. We've seen cars here before with a brake temperature of over 280 degrees Fahrenheit. Every last bit of energy is fed back into the battery, making the whole thing super efficient. The technical manager of the project, Markus Sievert, explains the unique benefit of the system. The best way to show the customer the benefit is if we always recuperate whenever the vehicle slows. So we looked at the brake. It's brake-by-wire, so the car decides whether to recuperate electrically or whether it needs to engage the hydraulic wheel brake. I would say that energy is recuperated via the electric engines 92, maybe 95% of the time. Audi's spectacular appearance at Pikes Peak also provides some surprising insights into the business practices of its competitors.
I'm really excited about the Audi because Tesla does not like to invite automotive press to a lot of their events or to drive any of their cars, really. So for me, it's really cool to actually get to drive a new electric car that's not a Tesla, because we don't really get to drive Teslas all that much either. But it's nice to have competition. You know, when you have one company that's controlling the market, you maybe lose some of the development gains that happen as a result of having a lot of companies competing in a certain market. So I'm excited to see where this technology goes because we have new people coming into the marketplace.
It's true, the competition never sleeps. The fight for the first electric customers in the premium segment is extremely tough. The pioneer in the field, Tesla, has now lost much of its mystique. Production problems in particular have damaged its image. Things are moving quickly at the established manufacturers. Jaguar is launching its first all-electric SUV, the I-Pace. In Germany, too, electric mobility is really starting to get moving. Just like the Audi, the Mercedes EQC was presented to the public in the fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
The technical concepts for all three cars are very similar. SUV bodies, large batteries between the axles with a capacity of up to 100 kilowatt hours, one electric engine at the front, one at the back, and a range of over 250 miles as standard. In 2019, Porsche will join the market with the Taycan, whose performance specs are said to be even better. Seriously tough competition, in other words. The deciding factor could end up being the best charging strategy. Audi has the advantage here, as the e-tron can be charged at up to 150 kilowatts, making it ready to drive again quicker than any other car right now. To illustrate this, Audi is arranging a very special event in Berlin. At the Siemens High Voltage Laboratory, several 100,000 volts are used to generate some spectacular visuals. But the main aim is to inform the public about Audi's future charging strategy. Simply building an electric car will not be enough. To this end, Audi and other manufacturers are working together to establish a dense network of fast charging stations throughout Europe. Andreas Klemm's team stops for a quick charge before hitting the road again. Meanwhile, at the wind tunnel in Ingolstadt, a new test series is being prepared with prototypes. Gerhard Wickern believes he's found a solution for his aerodynamic problem. In testing the prototypes, we realized that the seal around the radiator section isn't doing what it should. And now we have a second car with a new radiator seal that we developed additionally. But it wasn't really any better. The pressure is mounting on Gerhard Wickern. A solution needs to be found in time for the start of series production. Time is running out. I'm a natural optimist, but I never rule out the possibility that something will go wrong. The first day of the acceptance road test comes to an end. Time for the Audi team to review the events of the day over dinner. They were driving around us, cell phones pointed at us from every window, especially when you were on your own. Everywhere you looked, you were being filmed. The head of the model